In 1984, a shadow fell over the San Francisco Bay Area. One by one, entire families and individuals began to vanish without a trace. The Dubs family, gone. Paul Kosner disappeared. Lonnie Bond and Brenda O'Connor, along with their infant son, vanished. Robin Scott Stapley, an ex-Marine, was never seen again. Fear gripped communities as the disappearances mounted, leaving behind only silence and unanswered questions. The terror felt random, disconnected, but it was all part of a single, horrifying plan. The break came from the most ordinary of crimes: shoplifting. On June 2nd, 1985, at a South San Francisco lumber yard, police were called. An officer, Daniel Wright, approached him unloitering by a brown Honda. Inside the car, he found a Ruger .22 pistol fitted with an illegal silencer. The driver identified himself, but when brought to the station, he asked for a glass of water and a piece of paper. He quickly wrote a note, then collapsed, dead. He had swallowed a cyanide pill hidden in his lapel. The note said simply, "Freedom is better than all else. Love, Leonard." The man was Leonard Lake. His accomplice, a man named Charles Ng, had already fled. The investigation exploded. The Honda wasn't registered to Lake. It belonged to Paul Kosner, one of the missing men. As detectives dug deeper, they discovered the car was linked to several other disappearances. They traced an electric bill from the vehicle to a remote Tuandahafaka property in rural Calaveras County. It was here, at Lake's isolated cabin, that the full scale of the horror began to unfold. Investigators found a hidden, cinder-block bunker. Inside were photos of young women, bound and terrified. They also found Leonard Lake's handwritten journals, detailing what he called the Miranda Project, a twisted fantasy of kidnapping, dominating, and imprisoning women. The bunker had hidden chambers with two-way mirrors and a list of chilling slave rules. Outside, search teams found burn pits and shallow graves. Cadaver dogs alerted to the scent of death, and soon, bone fragments belonging to at least 7 different people were unearthed. The evidence was overwhelming. Harvey Dub's video equipment was found in the cabin. The belongings of a woman named Kathleen Allen were scattered across the property. Ballistics and luminol tests on Paul Kosner's car revealed the story of his murder. An Olympia typewriter found at the cabin was used to forge letters to the victims' families, falsely claiming they were okay. But the most disturbing discovery was a set of videotapes, labeled Mladis for Miranda. They showed Leonard Lake and Charles Ng psychologically torturing 2 women, Brenda O'Connor and Kathleen Allen. In one agonizing clip, Brenda begs for the life of her infant son. The tapes captured not just murder, but the complete and utter terror of their final moments. Meanwhile, Charles Ng was on the run. He had fled to Canada, but his luck ran out during another shoplifting attempt in Calgary. He got into a gunfight with the security guard and was finally apprehended. What followed was a years-long extradition battle, as Canadian authorities hesitated to send him back to face the death penalty. Ng used the time to study the legal system, filing endless motions and appeals. He was finally returned to California in 1991. His trial, which didn't begin until 1998, became the longest and most expensive in California history, costing over $20 million. The prosecution, led by District Attorney Peter Smith, built a massive circumstantial case with over 200 exhibits and 75 witnesses. Ng took the stand in his own defense, attempting to portray himself as a reluctant observer, blaming everything on the deceased Leonard Lake. But the videotapes told a different story. They showed Ng as an active, enthusiastic participant, cutting the clothes off his victims and directing the threats. In 1999, after 13 years of legal battles, Charles Ng was convicted of 11 murders and sentenced to death. A routine shoplifting call had unraveled a conspiracy of unimaginable cruelty, revealing a bunker built for control, terror, and erasure. It tested the limits of the justice system, but ultimately, it brought a measure of closure. For the families of Harvey and Deborah Dubs, Sean Dubs, Paul Kosner, Brenda O'Connor, Lonnie Bond, Scott Stapley, Kathleen Allen, and the other victims whose names we may never know, justice came slowly but Their names were not erased. Thank you for watching. If you found this story compelling, please consider subscribing for more deep dives into complex cases. Stay safe. Stay safe out there.